Hi, I'm Louise VanNatta coming to you from CCTV. We're talking about the impact of diabetes in our community. It's an important issue that a lot of people are dealing with, and today we're going to talk a little bit about diabetes and exercise. And with me today I have two great ladies, Tiffany Robbins, a professional trainer, and Michele Vanderyacht, a general manager at Epic Fitness. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
How are
Hi.
you?
Great.
So you guys know a lot about fitness and and especially Tiffany, personal training. I understand that you are also a diabetic. Is that true?
I am.
So tell me, now I have to confess, I have heard your story once before, but for all of the folks watching at CCTV, can you tell me a little bit about your life, your struggles, and maybe tell us a little bit about, maybe first of all, can you define diabetes for me really quickly? 1 and 2 and gestational, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
there are 3 kinds of diabetes. So there is type 1, which is the kind that I have.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually juvenile,
Okay.
but occasionally it does happen at any time in your life. And what happens is your pancreas completely stops working.
Okay.
So you are 100% insulin dependent. So anyone with type 1 will rely on injections, or they will have an insulin pump. Someone with type 2, the pancreas is tired, or they develop some kind of insulin resistance, and their body can't use the insulin like it used to.
Okay.
And so oftentimes they're on medication, sometimes they're on insulin.
And that's when you hear about people developing symptoms when they're older.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, and it's heavily related to some lifestyle challenges, so weight and unhealthy eating.
Okay.
Then gestational diabetes, of course, is where a woman will develop diabetes while pregnant.
Okay.
So the kind that I have is a little bit more difficult to control because the body does not produce any insulin.
Okay.
But with technology like continuous glucose monitors or insulin pumps, it's possible to control it, not perfectly, but
And I show you a pump, and you brought one here today,
I do.
see. Can you show us
I have it right
a little
here.
bit about what that is? And you wear that all the time?
Yes.
At night?
Yes.
All the time. Okay.
I have it on me 24 hours a day.
Wow.
And it's attached by like a little piece of tubing. And at the end of the tubing, there's a little plastic cannula that goes under your skin.
Okay.
So I take the tubing off when I take a shower or if I'm going swimming. But other than that, it becomes part of me, and you know, you just learn to protect it like it's part of
you
you.
program the foods you eat in, or does it tell you?
Well, your doctor will set up your insulin pump.
Got it.
There's a million different ways you can program your pump to work at different levels at different times. It's actually quite an intricate piece of technology, but it's very simple to use, and that's the important part.
So that works. So now I understand that you have not always been able to manage your condition, and I know you have a really interesting story, and maybe you can share a little bit about that with us today.
Well, I was diagnosed at the age of 1, nearly 2, and growing up, I was a pretty normal child. It wasn't until I hit high school that I had decided I don't want to be diabetic anymore.
Oh, you just decided. Yeah.
I decided I was done checking my blood sugar. I was done letting everyone tell me what I could and could not eat. I was done having to take all the time to follow a schedule and prepare my meals and count my carbs, and I didn't want any more of it.
And how did that work for you?
I was incredibly sick.
Oh.
Incredibly sick. For over 5 years, I had blood sugar so high you could not measure it with a glucometer. And my doctors kept telling me, you know, Tiffany, you're going to die. You're going to die. And it didn't register to me. I just thought, well, I'm a teenager, so I can do whatever I want. I can eat whatever I want. And I ended up getting complications years later when I finally had decided to take care of myself. I had emergency eye surgery twice. And I would have gone blind if I had not had been operated on that very day. And so, I had that happen. My stomach, I deal with paralysis in my stomach and in my intestines, so it makes eating very difficult. It makes energy very difficult. I developed circulatory problems that were so bad, I had to wear heated motorcycle gloves, 24 hours a day, all day long. Otherwise, I would lose feeling and mobility in my hands.
Wow.
And I was worried that I would lose my fingers.
And we're talking, this is a time where you're quite young. You were
Yes.
early,
I was
late teens, early 20s, is that?
All of this started happening between the age of 19 and 22.
Wow.
So I ended up actually spending a year off and on in the hospital nearly every week, laying in bed because I had so much pain in my legs that I couldn't function. And after that, after having eye surgery, after nearly losing some of my fingers, after having stomach problems, after leaving school multiple times, I weighed a little over 70 pounds.
Wow.
And I could hardly walk. And I could not sit up in a chair without something behind me.
Wow.
And so I hit rock bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought to myself, I fought to get better. I fought every day to get better. I can't go down like this. And so I did everything I could think of to help myself. And the first thing I thought of was, I need to help my circulation.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get my blood sugars where they need to be. I need to do things that are going to help me build some muscle mass so that I can actually work and actually function. And the first thing I thought was, I need to go to the gym.
You need to start exercising, huh?
Yes, and I had never been an avid gym member. I played sports, but I had not thought of weightlifting.
Mm-hmm.
And with my vision slowly starting to come back, I made a goal to get in the car and to drive myself to the gym, which was terrifying. And after eye surgery, I was left with one eye, correctable, with glasses that is considered legal.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was legally driving, but terrified.
Yeah.
And I'd make it to the gym, and I'd get out of the gym, and, me and my little 80-pound self would go down to the weight room and look at all the men in there lifting and watch what they were doing. And I thought, okay, well, I'm going to do that. And so I started copying the men.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them were nice enough to actually help me.
Mm-hmm.
And I started doing this religiously, started taking classes, started with, I'm not even kidding, 3-pound weights.
Mm-hmm.
3-pound weights was hard. 20 minutes on the elliptical machine it felt detrimental.
Just an eternity. It's an eternity for me. So
Yes, I thought I was dying after 20 minutes on the elliptical machine. And after a year, after religiously practicing and taking classes and learning to love the environment and love myself, I looked in the mirror and I thought, oh my God, what happened? And I had gained nearly 20 pounds of muscle.
Mm-hmm.
I looked healthy. I realized that I had taken my gloves off and that I wasn't wearing them at all.
Wow.
And that my hands actually had felt better. And I felt like there's some hope for me.
Now, when did you pursue your personal training? Because now you're a professional in the
Well,
business.
yes. So the moment I had looked at myself and I thought, oh my God, I'm not the same person. And I felt good. I thought I can work. And I tried to think of a situation that would accommodate the limitations that I have.
Mm-hmm. And
And being in a gym, you can wear loose-fitted clothing. You can wear things that are, going to keep me warm so that my hands don't start to hurt. And I thought to myself,
And you're in a job that supported the healing that you experienced.
Yes.
Right.
So I thought, I can do this. I want to do this. I want to help people do exactly what I just did. And immediately I thought, I really love weightlifting. Why don't I become a certified trainer?
Mm-hmm.
And why don't I take people that were sick like I was and help them learn how to be healthier and how to be strong and how to be confident? Because that was the biggest transformation.
Sure.
it was not my body. It was here. It was how I saw myself and how I valued myself. And so I started working as a trainer, and after reaching out to Diabetes Support Services, they had asked me to come in and speak, share my story with other diabetics, and express to them how incredibly important and useful an exercise program is, not just for weight loss, for overall health and well-being and control of this disease. It only helps you to learn that not only do you need to take care of your body, but you need to take care of your mind. And exercise does both.
So the discipline that you learned really helped that. And so you got your certification, correct?
Did.
And so how did you get hooked up with Epic Fitness?
Well, it's kind of a funny story. But I had just gotten certified as a trainer, and I was looking for a job. Meanwhile, I was volunteering with Diabetes Support Services. So one night, I was asked to give a little presentation for Diabetes Support Services on exercise and my story. And after my presentation, I went home and decided the next day I was looking for jobs. And so I got up, and not even kidding, the second place I stopped was Epic Fitness. And I had walked through the front door, and I was checking on an application, and I said, "Hi, I'm Tiffany Robbins. May I speak to your manager?" And the man that looked at me said, "I know who you are." And I said, "You know who I am?" And he said, "Yeah, I was at the meeting that you spoke at last night." And I said, "Oh, Diabetes Support Services." And he said, "Yes." And long story short, he told me that he felt like I had a passion and a drive and a skill set that none of his other trainers had.
So there you began. And so now, Michele, you have Tiffany working, and you're kind of developing a niche in helping folks with diabetes really change their lives. And why do you guys have a passion for that?
You know, part of it is I have just watched Tiffany since I've been there, and her drive and her passion for this and the way she helps people has just been absolutely amazing. The other person was right. I've never seen anybody with such a passion and a drive. For me, I have family. I have type 1 diabetes, type 2 through cousins and my stepfather, and I also have a lot of friends that are diabetic and newly diabetic that, you know, because of weight problems and eating problems, and it's just rampant around. And so we're in a position with the exercise to be able to help these people to do exactly what Tiffany has done and to have her lead that.
So what kind of accommodations have you had to make a workplace both friendly for staff and for clients who have diabetes? Because like Tiffany, sometimes people don't understand. You know, they see the pump, they see the syringe, you're eating all the time, you might have weight issues that are complications from this condition. How are you finding that as a workplace?
You know, where we are with our facility and our gym, and if people can find a gym like that, we're non-intimidating. It's kind of like coming home. We're there, we understand. The staff knows what to look for in diabetics when they exercise. We're able to provide meeting rooms, group exercises so that people aren't by themselves, so that they actually have people that they can talk to that understand. And we also have Tiffany, you know, to lead that. One of my very good friends just became diabetic, and her A1Cs were through the roof.
Now, A1C is is that a measurement of blood sugar?
Your hemoglobin A1C is a good way of saying your average blood sugar over an extended amount of time.
Okay, so that's how your friends kind of know where they are and what's normal for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know, part of her problem, she'd never really been into a gym before, has a weight problem, a little self-conscious, And after talking to her, she came in, she met with Tiffany. She's now on the program. She's been exercising, and her thought was, I can't do 5 minutes on a treadmill. I'm just not going to be able to. Yesterday, she did 10 minutes on a treadmill. And then she actually did a little bit of weightlifting with Tiffany leading her, did some squats, and then got back and did some more cardio. And I heard about it on Facebook yesterday. And she is just excited beyond belief. But the biggest thing is she feels comfortable and she feels like she can do it.
Well, and for people who are borderline diabetic or at risk of developing diabetes, this can be a stopping measure, can't it, from making this disease, helping this disease get worse? I mean, if you start an exercise program, is that true?
Well, yes. In some cases, diabetes type 2 can often be reversed through diet and through exercise.
And after the story you said, so all of the complications you experienced as a type 1 can also be experienced by a person who develops it because of poor lifestyle.
Yes.
And I can't imagine anybody wants to risk that. Foot and eyes and
My stepfather passed away in his early 60s. He was a type 1 diabetic, just like Tiffany. And I was in the gym business through the latter years of his life and tried everything I could to get him to come to the gym and do some exercise. And he chose to eat donuts and sit in his recliner. Ended up on kidney dialysis, feet problems, and he's no longer with us. And exercise is such a huge, huge part of helping to control your blood sugars.
So let's use the last few minutes we have here and talk about, let's say there's someone watching at home or as is on YouTube and maybe has been at a risk of diabetes or has diabetes and feels a little bit alone and doesn't know where to start. How would you start talking to someone about this if they called Diabetic Support Services, for example, or they called you? How would you start that conversation?
The first thing I would say is that no matter where your fitness level is, no matter if you are bound to be in a chair or if you're a healthy 13-year-old girl, you can always do something to better your health and your diabetes.
Well, I know that the blood sugar testing is really important, right? That's where you said when you stop testing your blood sugar, that's when, so I know that that's a big thing with DSS and at the gym is to make sure they know, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And, you know, another really important thing is that you have to feel comfortable with where you are, and it has to be fun. It can't be boring, and you can't feel like taking care of your disease is a chore. You can learn to do it in a way that makes you excited and makes you feel good about yourself. And it's that pride that you develop from being in the gym, from accomplishing something that makes you value yourself more and makes you find enjoyment in taking care of your disease.
With people
It's
that
empowering.
with people that understand, and that's where those support groups will come in. And then I would imagine that if maybe for people who are watching that haven't gotten out, you know, or maybe using walker haven't gotten up, is that going to be bad if all they can do is walk across the floor?
No, I deal with people that literally cannot get out, like, from off the floor or even a chair. I have people that are so limited in their mobility, they thought, no way on earth would I do personal training. And I said to them, what is your goal? They tell me their goal. My goal is to get up out of this chair without having to use my arms. And I said, well, you know what? That's our goal. That's what we're training for.
And you've seen people make that change.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's exciting to see it too.
So, well, that's very encouraging. I'm excited. So what else would you share with folks?
Well, the most important thing when you have diabetes, it doesn't matter if your blood sugar's controlled or if it's uncontrolled. You should be exercising, because exercise doesn't just help people with diabetes. What it does is give your body just a one-up on life, a one-up on aging, a one-up on diet. It helps keep your overall well-being. So whether you take care of the disease or you don't take care of the disease, you should be exercising because you're going to get.
So there's no downside. So no matter what, there's no downside.
There's no downside.
None at all.
There's no downside, and it's fun, and you learn to take what you're good at and what makes you happy and feed off of it.
That's wonderful. What a great way to end this segment. I want to thank you, Tiffany, for what you did, for sharing your story, first of all, because I know that you came through a lot of tough times and hopefully will inspire some folks out there. And Michele, thank you for making this kind of program available to folks so they can not only find friends that they can
and
be related to, but they can be offered the kind of expertise in the fitness area that we need so much in our community.
Thanks
so
for having us.
Thanks for being with us. And I'll look forward to seeing you again on CCTV very soon.